Brandon Shepard, Brandon Overton, your front row. Josh Rice, Ricky Thornton Jr., row number 2. Brian Shirley, Devin Moran, row number 3. We're going to have our missing man formation, and we've lost a lot of great folks here in the last week. Tyler Ritchie, Larry Moore, and Mo DeFino in this. I mean, he helped out a ton of drivers, and man, we hated it. We hated Larry Moore, the first 3-time winner of the World 100. Of course, Tyler Ritchie, what a story with him. Paralyzed, still racing. Unfortunately, had some blood clot issues this week and passed away at age 33. So anyway, the race car engineering pace truck is going to pace the field down the back straightaway. What a great sign. Yeah, as I said, rain here Friday night for most of the night, and then yesterday and in yesterday evening. But it has turned in. It was choppy early, but it looked pretty good here in the last couple of races we run. We'll see for 40 laps how it'll be the Kanakajig 40 for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Everybody up on your feet. A salute to you, the greatest fans in all of auto racing, dirt late model fans. Here is your starting lineup for the Kanakajig 40 with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, presented by Flow Racing. Well, Chris Moore, glad to have you with us this weekend. Devin Moran won on Friday night in Georgetown, Delaware. Unfortunately, BAPS rained out last week. We look to be there in 2027. See how well lit this racetrack is here. The capital of dirt track racing, Hagerstown Speedway, one of the most historic racetracks in dirt late model racing history. And Rob Penrod, co-chief, started with Rick Monroe at Eldora Speedway. The furled green flag as we will head to the A-Store and Hauling and Rigging start zone. Well, Devin Moran came in tonight 35 ahead. Brandon Overton lost some ground the other night. He's 200 back, but he can put a dent back in this thing. It is a long season in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. $250,000 to win the championship. $20,000 to win the Rookie of the Year. Can Josh Rice go to victory lane here tonight? He starts inside row number 2. On the outside is Ricky Thornton Jr., the defending race winner of the E-Store and Hauling and Rigging start zone. We are underway at the capital of dirt track racing. Battle into turn number 3. Overton and Shepard. Right there is RTJ out of turn number 4. Who's going to lead lap 1? Thornton takes a peek on the inside. It's Brandon Overton at 76. Shepard, Thornton, Moran, Brian Shirley, your top 5 down the back straightaway. The pair of Brandons, Brandon Overton, 19 career wins in the Lucas Oil Series. Brandon Shepard tied with Hudson O'Neill at 37. They're side by side out of turn number 4. They're 3 wide behind them down the straightaway. Overton still leads. Shepard, Thornton. Moran now is cleared. Shirley. Moran runs in 4th. Shirley 5th. And it's Rice, Ebert, Blair, O'Neill, and Ziegler. Meanwhile, into turn number 3, we've got a new race leader right now. It's only official when we cross the loop line down the main straightaway. It is the Rocket 1 of Brandon Shepard out in front of Hagerstown. 3 laps, 2 different leaders as they get into turn number 1 off of 2. It's Shepard, Overton, Thornton, Moran, Brian Shirley right now in that 5th spot into 3 as my dark horse pick. Again, thanks to Steering Buddy, a driver that has never won a Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series main event, $1,000 extra. As they head down the main straightaway into turn number 1, it's still B-Shep out in front. Behind them, trying to come through the field. Right there, you see the 11 of Josh Rice. Rice had a good starting spot. He won a heat race earlier. His first heat race win of the year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. As Ziegler goes down the back straightaway, battles with Dan Ebert into turn number 3. As they work lap number 5. Still 2-3 wide racing through the field. Hanging on there is Ziegler. Ebert here comes on the bottom. That is the 111 of Max Blair. You know how Max Blair right now in the 8th spot. He makes his moves on the bottom of the racetrack. As they come out of turn number 4, your leader is Brandon Sheppard, as he is already off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, as he has a lead right now of over 2 seconds. And right now the battle for second is now Thornton now. It's Brandon Overton right now and solid right there. Thornton, that hard break on Friday night at Georgetown, running in third after running in second for the first 6 laps of the race. Fell to third, lost a drive shaft. Out of that one. He finished dead last in 24th, and right now he runs third. He is the defending race winner as they come off of turn number 4. Down the main straightaway, Sheppard looking good, 8 in the book. Second is still Brandon Overton. Third is Ricky Thornton Jr. Those drivers have a straightaway lead over the 4th place car of Devin Moran in 99 and the 3S of Brian Shirley. Mason Ziegler running right now in the 6th spot. Max Blair to 7th. Rice is 8th. Ebert is 9th. Hudson O'Neal runs in 10th. So right now your points leader in the 4th spot, but the top 3 are way ahead of him. In fact, Brandon Sheppard is a half a lap ahead of Devin Moran, and Brandon Sheppard has picked up the tail end of the field as Ryan Montgomery has called it tonight, as Daniel Hilsebeck goes a lap down to the 22. 9 laps in, make it 10 in the books. 30 to go in his 40-lap race. Sheppard making quick work of the field. Took the lead on lap 3 from Brandon Overton, who runs in second. Ricky Thornton Jr. about 5 car lengths behind him, but they are dominating. Right there, a half a lap ahead of 4th place Devin Moran is Brandon Sheppard. 11 laps in the books. Battle back here is Ziegler, and we've got our first Hellraiser Jacks caution of the race, and Daniel Hilsebeck slows on the main straightaway in car number 22. All right, did not get that last lap in, so 10 laps as you see Kyle Bronson and Hudson O'Neal down at the All Makes Collision Center. Thanks to All Makes Collision Center, back on board this year out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Make sure you see them for all of your bodywork needs. They're right there on the state line in Nebraska and Iowa. Well, the early contender for the Oka Trekking Hard Charger is Garrett Alberson, up 6 spots, and there's been a lot of movers and shakers. There's been 2 and 3 wide racing this entire race, but Brandon Sheppard, that is an Illinois butt kicking right now, if you want to call it that. Using an old line from Scott Bloomquist when he used a Tennessee, you know what, but right now he has a half a lap ahead of 4th place Devin Moran. Brandon Overton and Ricky Thornton Jr. are 2nd and 3rd. Moran is 4th. 5th is Shirley. 6th is Ziegler. 7th is Blair. 8th is O'Neal. 9th is Rice. 10th runs Dan Ebert. Then you have Kyle Bronson, who'll get his spot. He's 11th. And Alberson, Latham, Satterley, Brendan Smith, Weaver, Feathers, Cosner, Ferguson, McCowan, Ross Robinson, Freddie Carpenter, Clay Harris, and out of the race, Ryan Montgomery will finish 25th, and Daniel Hilsebeck will finish in 24th. All right, we'll single them out and double them up. Well, Brandon Overton led the first 2 laps, and once Brandon Sheppard took the lead on lap 3, he has been in complete control as he was picking up the tail end of the field there. But now we'll see how it goes on the restart, because Overton Track's pretty good. Chris Moore, the track's pretty good. They're running 2 and 3 wide, but I'm telling you, Brandon, he was a half a lap ahead of the 99 car, who is 4th and the points leader.
Yeah, you were talking about how far ahead RTJ was in 3rd, ahead of Moran in 4th, and there was another straightaway up ahead to Bishop. Bishop absolutely cooking them right now, but we'll see here as we get a restart. 22 of Daniel Hilsebeck, a blown motor holding the block of the 22, so that's going to be an expensive one for Hilsebeck and team.
Yeah, tough break for him. He had a great run on Friday night, almost got a top 5, finished in 6th. With Shepherd, he led a lot of laps at Brownstown in the icebreaker, led the most laps, I believe 44 of them at Atomic. Finished 2nd to Thornton there, trying to win his 3rd of the year and try to close in on the points for B. Shep. 5-time Outlaw champion, 5-time DTWC winner, along with Freddie Smith. All right, 10 down. If you're wondering why didn't they score that lap, it's the leader plus 3 did not do that. So Shepherd probably would have took it. He was so far ahead. But anyway, on the restart, so everybody is still on a lead lap as we have 23 of the 25 starters back underway at the East Door and hauling and rigging as Thornton way out wide, and here comes Miranda 99. We'll see if Shepherd can pick it up where he left off. Thornton way up there in turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Here comes the 99 down the back straightaway. Here comes Shirley in 3S. Brian Shirley looking for a podium here tonight, but Brandon Shepherd, the fellow Illini driver, leads down the main straightaway. And look at this, 3 wide down the main straightaway, O'Neill in 71. Shirley and Max Blair. Max Blair, you know he's going to hug that guardrail like Secretariat did in 73 down the back straightaway. Right there to go in the bottom, Shirley. Ziegler going at it. Off at turn number 4, Brian Shirley has a run on Moran. Here comes O'Neill in 71. Brandon Shepherd still leads 12 in the record books here tonight at Hagerstown. We have 28 laps to go, and Shepherd, guess what? He's already out to 1.8 seconds. And down the main straightaway, it may be even 2 seconds. It goes into turn number 1. Here comes Overton. It is 1.9. I was close. Thornton is 3rd. Moran 4th. O'Neill 5th. Shirley is 6th. Blair, Ziegler, Bronson 9th. 10th runs Dan Ebert. Well, that Rocket Durham, Brandon Shepherd, down the main straightaway. The first driver to win a Konica Jeeg race here at Hagerstown was Rodney Combs. And right now, looking like Rodney Combs into turn number 3 as he gets stretched down. In fact, the top 3 have a battle back there. O'Neill and Moran going at 1st and 2nd of the points. O'Neill came in 35 behind. They're going to go side by side at turn number 4 down the main straightaway. Moran still has that spot into turn number 1, but it is all Brandon Shepherd, and it's 2.4 off of 4 down the main straightaway. Brandon Shepherd, 15 laps in the record, 16 in the record books down the back straightaway. Off at turn number 4, and in another couple laps, he is going to pick up the tail end of the field is Brandon Shepherd. Looking for his 3rd series win of 2026. And he has been perfect so far in this race. It's 2.9 down the back straightaway. Brandon over to 2nd. Ricky Thornton Jr. trying to get a run on the 20 RT. Thornton tries the inside. Thornton, he fell down in the points. But right now he's trying to go side by side with Overton, who is 3rd in the points. Moran right now 4th in this race. Now Thornton's got the spot. He slides in there. 18 to go. Down the back straightaway, Overton with the crossover, down the back straightaway. The 2 veteran drivers going at it at turn number 3. Brandon Overton and Ricky Thornton Jr. 2 Lucas Oil regulars again here in 2026 as Brandon Overton right there is hanging on, but Brandon Shepherd 2.8 seconds the advantage as they head down the back straightaway. Clay Harris out of this one in car number 6. Off at turn number 4, we will score the Hellraiser Jacks halfway mark for Brandon Shepherd. Battle back here, the top 2 in the points. O'Neill has gotten around Moran. O'Neill goes to 4th, Moran back to 5th. Brian Shirley is still 6th, Max Blair 7th, Mason Ziegler, Kyle Bronson 9th, Garrett Alberson up to 10th. Garrett Alberson looking at that Hoker Trucking hard charger. He's gone 18th to 10th. Up 8 spots as we stay green. Only one caution so far tonight in this race. 19 to go. Brandon Sheppard still out in front, looking to break a tie with Hudson O'Neal. 38th career win it would be as he head down the main straightaway, but still a ways to go as he's already to turn number 1, picks up the tail end of the field. There's Overton in second, Thornton third, 18 laps to go. Brandon Sheppard, the tail end of the field. If this thing stays green, let's see how he works traffic around the 7 of Ross Robinson. Brandon Sheppard, one of the best in the business. Again, 5-time World of Outlaw Series champion. A regular in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Former Series Rookie of the Year when he drove for Best Performance Motorsports. 5-time Dirt Track World Champion. Tied with the late, great Freddie Smith. Down the back straightaway goes Brandon Sheppard. The Valvoline Soybert Calf Ranch's number 1. That car is perfect here tonight. Down the main straightaway behind the C4 of Freddie Carpenter. Will have 16 laps to go. So Brandon Overton still second as Sheppard will make quick work of Fast Freddie into turn number 3. They'll have 15 to go coming up for the 1 car. The lead is 2.4. Overton has cut down a little bit on that advantage. And at Budweiser 76. Right now Sheppard enters turn 1. At the start-finish line is the 76 of Overton. It's 2.4 seconds for the 1 over the 76. Ricky Thornton Jr. right there in the 3rd spot, the defending race winner. Hudson O'Neal forward. Devin Moran, Max Blair, Brian Shirley, Mason Ziegler, Kyle Bronson, Dan Ebert, Carson Ferguson, Greg Satterley, Garrett Alberson. Now has lost a few spots back to 13th. Ross Robinson out of this one. Brandon Sheppard coming at you. Out of turn number 4 down the main straightaway. There's the 111 of Max Blair. 4th in the points. So right now, Brandon Sheppard is in turn number 2. The deficit is down to 1.9. If this thing stays green, they're in heavy traffic. Brandon Overton, you know he's not going to give up at that 76. Ryder Cantilla, the crew chief on that car. But the Rocket 1 right now dominating as he'll go to the outside of the 55 of Latham as Trevor Feathers has called it a night here at Hagerstown. There's 12 laps to go. Brandon Overton, it's 1.7, 3/10 of a second more that time around for B. Shep. Brandon Sheppard right now, as we see him coming off of turn number 4, you see the battle back there, Carson Ferguson and Dan Ebert. .5. The 1 in the 76. Brandon Overton digging hard. Ricky Thornton Jr. is still 3rd. Hudson O'Neal is 4th. Devin Moran is 5th. The Durham Ford into 1. 10 laps to go for Rocket 1 down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, he's got a little bit of gap between himself and the tail end of the field as he comes off of turn 4. Give him 9 to go. The deficit last time had grown back to 2.2 seconds for the 1 over the 76. Overton right now entering turn 1. B-Shep exiting turn 2 down the back straightaway. Sheppard is still going to have to deal with some cars. He's got 2x2 in front of him. 2x2 in front of him. You see O'Neal now closing on the 20 RT of Thornton. Every race important for full points. Every position important. And O'Neal has a run out of turn number 4 on RTJ down the main straightaway. 8 laps to go. 32 in the books. Sheppard took the lead back on lap 3. He has dominated ever since. 1 caution so far tonight. In this 40-lap A-main, Brandon Sheppard exiting turn number 4. So right now is Brandon Overton. Battle back here for the 20 RT and the 71. Then you have the 99 of Moran and the 111 of Blair. Max Blair trying to make a late run here tonight as he always does. It seems like there you see your leader into turn number 3 behind the 11 of E-Race winner and top rookie Josh Rice. They come off of turn number 4 down the main straightaway. 6 laps to go. Still 176, 20 RT, 71, 99, your top 5. Brandon Sheppard. There you see now O'Neal makes the move coming out of turn number 2, and Hudson O'Neal takes spot number 3, the final spot of the Big River Steel podium. But right now the driver looking to stand atop the podium out at turn number 2 down the back straightaway is Brandon Sheppard. 5 laps to go. He'll have 4 to go coming up this time. And Garrett Alberson slows in 58. He was a Hoker Trucking hard charger early on, but his night apparently has come to an end as Shepherd with 4 laps to go. As you see the battle back here as Ricky Thornton Jr. is going to lose another spot. This one to Devin Moran. Here comes his good buddy on the bottom, the 111. Good battle there. Moran with the crossover. Down the back straightaway. Smashes the loud pedal, and Devin Moran's going to take the spot as Thornton is slipping back and Blair. Oh, they get together. Blair and Thornton got together as Max tried to get around him, but he's got the spot. So Blair goes to 5th. 3 to go for the 1 car. Overton is 2nd. O'Neill is 3rd. Moran. As you see Brandon Shepherd, 2 laps to go. The Barron's Performance white flag, 1 to go. They are going back at it. Thornton around Blair again. Right there into turn number 1. This racetrack has been excellent in this feature. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Ricky Thornton Jr. But nobody has driven it better than Brandon Shepherd. The Barron's Performance white flag, 1 lap to go. Let's see Overton. He across right now, and Brandon Overton is 5 seconds behind your leader. Blair still going at it with his good buddy RTJ Moran in front of them. Final lap. Brandon Shepherd, 38th career win in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series in dominating fashion here tonight in the Rocket 1. Here comes Overton. He will take 2nd in 76. 3rd will be O'Neill. 4th is Moran. 5th is Blair. 6th is Thornton. 7th is Shirley. 8th is Bronson. 9th is Carson Ferguson as he got around Ziegler on the final lap. Or got around Ebert on the final lap. So we will send the top 5 to the scales. So right now, unofficially, your Hoker Trucking hard charger is Carson Ferguson, 19th to 9th, as he got that spot on the final lap. So unofficially, Brandon Shepherd is your winner. On my race pass, it shows 0.5 of a second, or 5 seconds the advantage. 2nd Overton, 3rd O'Neill, 4th Moran, 5th Blair, 6th Thornton, 7th Shirley, 8th Bronson, 9th Ziegler, 10th Ferguson, 11th Ebert, 12th Saturday, 13th Cosner, 14th Weaver, 15th Brendan Smith and McCowan, Carpenter, Latham, Rice, Alberson, Feathers, Robinson, Harris, Hilzebeck, and Ryan Montgomery. So Ferguson started 19th, finished in 10th. As they will go to the Long Acre scales, check the weight, a 40-lap race, a pound per lap, so you can weigh 23.10 minimum. In that Valvoline Sorbet Calf Ranches, Ace Metalworks, Performance Grading, Petrov Towing, Franklin Enterprises, Sunoco Race Fuels. He will be the top Sunoco Race Fuels driver in that race. Gunners Honey, Styles Marine and Maintenance, Collins Brothers Towing, Danny White, the crew chief, Joel Rogers, Austin Hargrove of the Rock of Durham for Mark Richards Racing. Send our wishes to Mark Richards, who's been with us this weekend. He had some cataract surgery in one of his eyes this past week, so he's healing from that. Trying to keep the dust out of his eyes. But I tell you, Chris Moore, the feature, that was good. The track was good. I mean, Brandon Shepherd was better than the track, right? He dominated this race. Once he took the lead, we had, one caution flag?
Yeah.
But he hightailed it, and man, oh man, he goes to victory lane here tonight. He's going to talk to you. And again, rounding out the Big River Steel podium is Brandon Overton and Hudson O'Neill. See them pushing the 1 car out. He'll come onto the main straightaway. Hey, fans, thanks for joining us. I know it's Sunday night. It's 9:35. Have a safe trip home. Have a good work week. Be sure to join us here on Flow Racing at Circle City on Friday, and then at Florence on Saturday, and then 2 weeks after that, Illinois Speed Week. We'll have the Flow Racing Night in America the first 3 nights, and then Farmer City, Illinois, Fairbury Falls. And then we'll be in Nebraska, and then we'll have the Road to Wheatland, the Sunoco Race Fuels Road to Wheatland, wrapping up on Memorial Day weekend in Wheatland, Missouri. Well, Chris Moore, he doesn't get too excited, but I'm telling you what, he flat out put it on him here tonight, did Brandon Shepherd.
Yeah, it was dominant. It was impressive. never even a sniff. James, I think he could have done his taxes while he was out front. We're a little bit past April 15th, but I'm sure you could pay a late fee and whatnot, but the one car was an absolute rocket ship, for lack of a better term. And just to put into perspective how good he was, Brandon Overton, he had gapped the rest of the field in second and was over 5 seconds behind this one machine. Brandon Sheppard, lap traffic, the caution flag, none of it made a difference. The one car was in his own league tonight. Tiffany reminding us who she picked to win. You picked a pole sitter, that doesn't count. That's a Dustin Jarrett move. You can't do that. Brandon Sheppard, a dominant drive, avenges that atomic week last month. Was perfect all night, led a lot of it, came up short. Not tonight. A dominant Rocket 1, Brandon Sheppard back in victory lane here with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Confetti flying and a happy New Berlin, Illinois native. Brandon, congratulations, man. Just how good was this race car? Because nobody was in your zip code tonight.
Oh man, it was awesome. Mark, Dan, Austin, Joel, Steve Baker, everybody at Rocket Chassis, they've been working their tails off. These guys have been giving me a great piece night in and night out, and it's at the end of the day, it's a lot of tough competition out here. So night in and night out, no matter what you do, even if you got the fastest car, you may not win that night because the competition is just so tough. So I really think our car's been really fast all year long. I don't think I've felt terrible any time that I've ever hit the track this year. So that says a lot about these new Rocket XR2s and these Fox shocks and just everybody involved. Like I said, that means the world to me to win here at Hagerstown. I've been coming here a long time. I think the first time I ever come here was I drove the Paul Kroll number 7 car. So to find and I don't think we made the show like whatsoever that night. So to gain experience here and having learning from Josh, he was really good here. So Mark's obviously taught him, and he's been teaching me and giving me pointers all night of how I need to drive this place. And it's definitely different than normal tonight. I had a lot more moisture in it, but I think even if the track would have been slick, our car would have been really good. So like I said, just hats off to all my guys. I can't thank all of our great sponsors enough: Valvoline, Siebert Calf Ranches, Ace Metalworks, Gunner's Honey, Styles Marine and Maintenance, Petrov Towing, Franklin Enterprises, Performance Grading, Sunoco Race Fuels. I know I'm going to forget some people.
It's a rolling billboard now.
I tell you what, man, we've just had such a good car night in and night out at Andy Durham Racing Engines. Like I said, Fox Shocks, Precision Suspension. Can't thank them guys enough. My dad and my grandpa wouldn't be standing here and have such a great ride if it wasn't for them guys sacrificing so much when I was young in my career. And obviously, my beautiful wife and kids, I wish they could have been here. The weather definitely scared them away, but I was super happy to be able to get this race in and make the weekend worth it for sure.
Tell me, you get out front like that. I know you got guys on signal sticks, but you end up winning this race by over 5 seconds. Do you have any idea when you're in the car just how big it is, knowing that you haven't really seen anybody pull up next to you at any point?
You never know really how big a lead you got. I know my signal guy was showing me that I had a good-sized lead, but, it's not like I was overdriving the car or anything crazy. I was kind of just going as fast as my tires would allow me, if that makes any sense. There was a couple times that I went really hard, and I kind of felt like my left rear tire would get hot, and I kind of slowed down and tried to get it back underneath of me, and then it came back to me, so I knew that was pretty early in the race, before halfway, so I knew after that kind of how hard I needed to push myself. And when I got to lap traffic, lap traffic's bit me a few times this year, so I knew when I got to them guys, I just needed to make sure that I was taking the first opportunity that I could to pass them guys. And we had a close call down there the one time. I think it was Hilsa back there, but stuff happens, and it's part of racing. But we had a really fast car. I'm just super thankful to be here in Victory Lane.
Congratulations. Great job.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to all the fans for coming out, and Hagerstown for waiting the weather out for us.
All right, there you go, James. Brandon Sheppard, a dominant drive, a great race car, Rocket 1 in Victory Lane here at Hagerstown.
Yes, Kruger, they couldn't get their arms wide enough to show the lead he had over them. But how about the ironic, and I mentioned Rodney Combs and his relationship, of course, over the years with Mark Richards. He won the very first Kanakajig 50 here. Well, it was a 50-lap race back. Maybe it might have been 100, but he won it back in 1982. Well, Brandon Overton, he was looking for the clean sweep here tonight. He led the first 2 laps of the race, and he held on for second the rest of the way. He had a good battle with Ricky Thornton Jr. there for a while as he comes home in the runner-up spot, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, James. Brendan, how frustrating is it? I mean, I have to imagine 99 nights out of 100 here, you have the best car and walk away with the win, and the one car just in his own zip code tonight.
Yeah. He actually had a little different tire on than we did, and I probably tried to block him a little too soon. I moved down and pushed right out, and but hats off to them, man. They do a hell of a job. That's good for them. You know what I mean? We all need to get us some, and like I said, we were good. I'm glad I can go home after tonight and not after Georgetown, that's for sure. So yeah, just hats off to my crew, Josh and Ryder Nick, Ella, and they've been busting their butt. They ain't gave up on me yet, and just want to thank all these sponsors, Jason and Scott Riggs for the opportunity, Garnto Southern, Big Dog Stumping Tree, RW Powell, SCM, Harco, Boswell, Muscle Factory. I know I'm going to forget somebody, VP, Bill Steen, VG, Clements Automotive, just my family back home. It's going to feel good to go home and see my little girl for a couple of days, and my wife and my family, and we'll just regroup and give them hell again next time. Outside of the tire, is there anything else you'd do differently or you'll take to the notebook for next time? Yeah, I mean, it's never we probably won't see this again next time. The last time I was here, it was complete opposite. So you just got to do your best. That's what I said. Like when it gets ready to qualify today, I knew there's one thing I'm good at. I can make it go early. So I just threw that on there and got ourselves in position, and we capitalized. Obviously, we wanted to win, but we'll take our second and go on to the next one.
All right, good job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, big sexy Brandon Overton comes home with the runner-up, James.
Yeah, he returns to Circle City next week. That's the scene of his last Lucas Oil win 1 year ago. And, of course, runs very well at Florence Speedway, where we will be next Saturday night all live here on Flow Racing. Well, Hudson O'Neal came in 35 points behind Devin Moran. He's going to pick up a few points. Moran came home in fourth, but O'Neal in this race started in position at number 11 and rounds out the big Versteel podium, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, James. I feel like if there was one guy in this field who might still feel like he might have had something for that one, it was you, 11th to 3rd, and you were closing in on the 76 late. How good was this race car, and what would you change it from early in the night to be in a better spot late?
Just qualify a little bit better. We just weren't very good qualifying, tried to adapt too much to the rough, and probably went the other way too much. So just kind of got back to our normal program there, and and just kept doing our thing that we've learned here over the last few weeks, and we were definitely really, really good in that feature. I felt like just didn't have a caution at the right time there. I was able to close in from like a straightaway back, and then the lap traffic, I seen Brandon kind of sneaking up through there and getting away from us, and yeah, I don't know if we would ever got a chance to get up there and race with him, but wish we had of, and don't know if we would ever outran him. He was really good, but would have liked to known. So, yeah, thank you, Hagerstown. Thank you, Lucas Oil, for putting forth a lot of effort today. I know didn't have a lot of faith in the racetrack, and they did a really good job and gave us a great racetrack to race on, and we raced all over it. So, thanks for all that. Thank you to Todd and Vicki Burns back at home and SSI Motorsports and Subsurface of Indiana, and everybody's a part of it back at the shop. All of Subsurface of Indiana for making this possible to come out here and do this, and all my guys, Jason, Riley, Kyle, Logan, and my wife Tessa, and all my family back at home, and everybody on this race car, Wheeler Metals, Merrill Bonding Company, Big River Steel, O'Neal Salvage and Recycling, Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling, Seven Spurs Ranch, Snowco Race Fuels, Penske Shocks, Longhorn, Kevin Rumley, everybody that's a part of it, Chris at Midwest Sheet Metal, Indiana USSSA, and we'll keep digging, and hopefully we can be a couple more steps higher on that podium here next week.
All right, good job.
Thank you, sir.
There you go, James Huddy. Worked hard for this one, and, well, it's early in the year, but one thing he did get done tonight, as you mentioned, beat that 99 car, and he'll close a little bit closer to Devin Moran after the end of tonight.
Yeah, and he'll be 45 minutes from home next Friday night at Circle City. We invite everybody out for that. Our race recap, by the way, before we close out tonight. Good crowd came in. They have not seen the sun here, I don't believe, since maybe Thursday. It rained Friday. It rained most of the day yesterday. Well, I tell you, once we got that feature going, it was really good. The track was there. You see the pass for the lead. on lap number 3 for Brandon Shepard, Brandon Overton, and they ran like that the rest of the way. Ricky Thornton Jr. was in the hunt. You had 2 and 3 wide racing throughout the field. Moran, he had a little bit of contact there. As you see the left front of that car, Brian Shirley was in the hunt. Brian comes home with a top 10 finish. There's Thornton as he made it life a little bit tough on the 76 for a while. As you see Moran and O'Neill going at it, and here comes Blair. And Thornton didn't see him. I mean, when you're in these self-containment seats, you didn't see his good buddy Max Blair there as they got together. And Thornton got back around him at the finish line. No, Blair got into the 5th spot. So again, it was Shepard, Overton, O'Neill, Moran. Blair was 5th. Thornton is 6th. 7th, Shirley. 8th, Bronson. 9th, Ferguson. And 10th, Ziegler. Is that right, Ashley? That is correct. Carson Ferguson, your Hoker Trucking hard charger, 19th to 9th as he got that spot, I believe, from Ziegler on the final lap. There you see the Big River Steel podium. And Chris Moore, if you've got any final thoughts, Brandon Shepard, he led a lot of laps at Brownstown. He led the most laps at Atomic, came home 6 laps short, ran runner-up to Thornton. Ran 4th on Georgetown, and a big point night and a big win for Rocket One here tonight, Chris.
Yeah, the 2 stories of the night, Brandon Shepard and how great he was. Remember, he was quick time in Group A, 2nd quickest overall in All-Star Performance qualifying. So he was really good right out of the gate as well. Said after the heat race how great he felt, and obviously he showed it in this feature. Also wanted to give a hats off to the Hagerstown track crew. You mentioned it, how just horrendous and ugly and awful the weather's been the past few days, and even today wasn't the nicest day in the world, and it looked early like we might have a rough night and survival of the fittest, but this racetrack really kind of worked itself out, and these guys all said it, different than normal, different than what we typically get here at Hagerstown, but certainly raceable, certainly you could pass. You mentioned Carson Ferguson picking up 10 spots, Hudson O'Neill going 11th to 3rd, so if your race car was good, you could pass guys. Brandon Shepard didn't have to pass too many, at least for position, obviously passed some lap cars, but I don't know that anybody had anything for the one. Huddy might have, but hey, his night didn't get off to the start that Brandon Shepard did, and B-Shep put it to them all. So it's been fun, and I'll see you in a month and a half or so, I believe, James.
Hey, appreciate great working with you, Brownstown Atomic, the last couple of nights here, and I just wish we got Baps in last night, but hopefully we'll see them in 2027. Well, that'll do it from Hagerstown, Maryland, as the folks leave. And they saw a good one here tonight. And they saw Brandon Shepard absolutely whip up on him here tonight at Hagerstown, Maryland by over 5 seconds at the finish line. We'll be live here on Flow Racing next Friday night from Indianapolis, Circle City Raceway at the Marion County Fairgrounds. And then next Saturday night, the King House of Power, the home of the Snowco Race Fuels North-South 100, will be at the Ralph Latham Memorial next weekend. We hope to see you out at the track. If not, all the action every lap here on Flow Racing. For Chris Moore, I'm James Essex. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you from the Hoosier State on Friday night.
Series.